audience of over 90,000 spectators, heralds the stars that have brought Seattle and Los Angeles to this championship of the American Football Conference. For the home team, the Los Angeles Raiders, 12-4. The Stars quarterback Jim Plunkett, running back extraordinaire Marcus Allen, tight end 92 catches Todd Christensen, back Lester Hayes, and Defensive Player of the Year linebacker Rod Martin. For the Seahawks, these are the heroes that have made Seattle the Cinderella team in the playoffs. Dave Craig, the quarterback. The AFC Player of the Year running back Chris Warner. Wide receivers Steve Largent. Defensive back Pro Bowler Kenny Easley. And sack master Jacob Green. Those are the stars for Seattle and Los Angeles. One company will take its show to Tampa in 2 weeks, as NBC Sports welcomes you to the championship game of the American Football Conference. Today's game is brought to you by Chevrolet, official U.S. cars and trucks of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. Chevrolet and you taking charge. By American Airlines, doing what we do best. And by AT&T Information Systems, a leader in communications and information management. Some of those in this crowd of over 90,000 may say the Seattle Seahawks brought their weather with them. It is cloudy, foggy, temperature in the 60s for this championship game. A huge throng at the Coliseum. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen. Our congratulations to Joe Gibbs, Washington Redskins. They've earned the right to defend their Super Bowl championship. Will it be Seattle? Will it be the Raiders? You've been on the field for a championship game. What are the feelings now?
Feelings running high. They're hot down there to get this kick, get it off, and get it running. I'll tell you, there's only one spot left in the Super Bowl. You dream about that. You start your year thinking about it, and here they are waiting to battle it out.
Well, the surprising member brought to this ball, Chuck Knox, Seattle Seahawks. And Chuck Knox kind of likes the idea that his team is a solid underdog again.
We really don't mind the underdog role because it gives us a chance to prove that people can be wrong.
You played for him.
I played for 5 different coaches, head coaches. He was my favorite. Look you in the eye, and boy, can he get you ready to play.
Well, they say the same good things about Tom Flores, the head coach of the Los Angeles Raiders. Tongue-in-cheek, we asked him about the pressure that he feels coming into this game, and he related the fact that he said, well, just about everything. Respect, players, bonuses, prestige, Super Bowl, my wife's favor, maybe even my job. Pressure, what do you mean?
He's 6-1 in playoffs, and he has the better team. He knows it, but they've got to prove it here today.
Let's talk about the personality of the Los Angeles Raiders. Intimidating is one of the first words that come out.
Power and pressure are 2 other very important words. That's the kind of thing they would like to do to the Seahawks today. And the thing that they will do that with is a very strong defense and a multitude of offensive tools.
No question, but what the Raiders, I think the consensus is that they have the most talent in the league, and they have 2 players that weren't around when they played Seattle the 2 times Seattle beat them.
In Mike Haynes, Cliff Branch. Haynes, of course, buoys up that defensive secondary, and Branch is their deep threat.
They were not available when Seattle upset the Raiders during the regular season on both occasions. Now let's talk about the character of the Seattle Seahawks and the fact that they really forced the ball to be left on the ground. They forced the mistakes and made advantage of those.
They really are the people who make that happen. They knock it down. They take the fumble away from you. They take the interception. And look how the Raiders have helped in those losses. They've given the ball away 23 times. They've only taken away 3 times in those 4 losses during the season.
Well, we're ready to kick it off. The Seattle Seahawks will receive to open this championship game. The winner will meet the Washington Redskins in the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. Chris Barr getting ready. This crowd on its feet. One of the largest in Coliseum history. Over 90,000. 92,000 tickets have been sold. Zachary Dixon, a very dangerous return man. They'll try to keep the ball away from him. Barr signals we're ready. The championship is underway. All the way to the 40-yard line. David Hughes, they kicked away from Dixon, and Hughes gives Seattle good field position. Here, the starting offense for the upstart Seahawks. Dave Craig, their unknown quarterback. They know him now in the Great Northwest. Kurt Warner, rookie, Penn State. Cullen Bryant, blocking back. He played here with the Rams. Paul Johns, dangerous deep receiver. And the clever Steve Largent. He had 11 touchdown catches this year.
second only to Todd Christensen of the Raiders, who had a dozen. First down for Craig and Seattle at the 40-yard line. Warner, no surprise there. He gets about 4 before Bob Nelson, one of the inside linebackers, can make the tackle. On the front wall for Seattle, the Reverend Charlie Young. He's trying to get into the 3rd Super Bowl with 3 different teams. Ron Essink, he's had a fine year. Edwin Bailey for the injured Reggie McKenzie. Blair Bush, the former Cincinnati Bengal. Robert Pratt, the ex-Baltimore Colt. And Steve August. He was part of that Dorsett trade of a few years ago. Second down and 6. Warner. He can't get outside. Alzado and Martin teamed up on that defensive right side. It'll be 3rd down and about 4. Let's check the defense. And the Raiders are tough up front. Howie Long on his way to the Pro Bowl. Reggie Kinlaw on the nose from Oklahoma. And the veteran Lyle Alzado. Darth Raider, they call him. Ted Hendricks, All-Pro again. Matt Millen, one of the top tacklers in the league. Bob Nelson, who just made that last stop. Rod Martin, voted the AFC Player of the Year on defense. Lester Hayes, touchdown last week. Mike Haynes at the other corner. Mike Davis at safety. And the second-year man, Van McElroy, on his way to the Pro Bowl. Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 5. That's Dornick in motion. They like to go to him. Down the middle, it's going to be intercepted by Lester Hayes at the 31-yard line. A flag is down. Hayes, the man who intercepted early against Pittsburgh last week for a touchdown. And we have some pushing and shoving at the other end. Well, the Raiders like to do that. That's part of their game plan. They like to intimidate.
Dick, they'd like to get your mind off the game and onto the rowdiness and the fighting on the field. That was Pratt and Pickell fighting. It's going to be a reception. It looked like they tagged Lester Hayes for pushing in the secondary. He was there ahead of the receiver. Can't do it that way.
Number 37. Interference, number 37.
To Seattle instead of the ball. Lester Hayes gives it up to Seattle on the interference.
Look at that classic stance. Hayes says, come and get it. I got it right here. Byron Walker working one-on-one. Now there's the bump. He cannot push him in past that 5-yard area. Hayes dropping the shoulder into him and pushing him away. Another look at it from a different angle as you watch Craig get rid of the football. And of course Lester is there, but the official behind him took out the yellow flag and nullified the play.
And instead of the turnover, first down at the 32, Warner. Mike Haynes has showed why he is such a great addition to this team. He's terrific on coverage, and look at him meet the run.
And the key to this ball game is what the Raiders have done so far. They have been able to hammer on that big back, Warner. Now Warner is the key to this offense, Dick. He's the key to this offense. They got to have his running production. And here's a quote from Ted Hendricks. They know it. It's not complicated. We've got to stop Kurt Warner. If they stop Warner, then they can apply the full pressure of that defense to the passing game. And boy, that's awesome. You don't want to play catch-up football against this team.
Now with 57 sacks, second best in the NFL. Second and 10. Craig. Oh, there's the fumble. We'll wait for the signal. You'll hear a roar if it's for the Raiders. Still no notice from the officials. Seattle maintains. So already the ball has bounced right twice for this young Seattle team against Tom Flores' Raiders.
But that's exactly what we talked about. On a must-pass situation, look at the kind of pressure they get on Craig. Craig from the blind side will not see the defender coming. Right here, Rod Martin, number 53, and Martin slapped that ball away, knocked it loose. Pratt had a chance at it. A couple of Raiders had a chance at it. Essink, I think, the man that finally came up with the football.
8-yard loss to Seattle, back to the 40-yard line. That probably takes them out of field goal range, although Johnson has a 54-yarder this season. So shotgun time, third down and 18. Craig complete to Largent at the 30, but that's short of the first down. Mike Davis made the tackle. Let's see if that's enough to get Norm Johnson on the field. And now we have some more push and shove. Boy, they are ready emotionally, both sides. Maybe too ready.
We talked about emotion being the key. What had happened is Dornick came in, lost his balance, jumped over the pile, and I think stepped on Mike Davis at the end of that play. Davis came up off the ground, and he went right after Dornick.
Here's the play. Craig's throw a little low, so Largent, after he made the reception, that's all he could get.
Another different angle on that last play as you watch the finale of the play. Now there's Dornick coming over the top, and you saw him trying to catch his balance. I think Davis read that as an attempt to go after his head, and he came up looking for Dornick.
Well, apparently they called that pass not complete but trapped, so in to punt is Jeff West. The ball was trapped. Greg Pruitt deep back at the 10-yard line. They go after West, and that's going to be a penalty. They really nailed West. So the ball goes into the end zone. Let's see how the call goes on roughing the kicker or running into the kicker.
I think it'll be a roughing call. Otis McKinney, 23, really came in there. Now, if he can touch that football, he can go into that kicker. He can't do it otherwise, and he had no chance at that football. Took a bad angle coming in, just leveled Jeff West, and Jeff will trade his body for that play. But there it is right there. One question, did Dornick push him in? Dornick back there getting a shove on him. Look at it from the other angle. That's Brown, Dave Brown, 22. But number 23, Otis McKinney, makes no attempt to avoid the kicker, and I think that's what they're going to ticket him for.
Only 5 yards on the penalty, but more importantly, a first down to Seattle. So that's 3 plays already in this first quarter that have all gone to the Seattle side. It's been that kind of year for the Seahawks. They wouldn't be here otherwise. There's some magic brewing in the Northwest. Let's see if they capitalize. Intercepted by Hayes, and that's going to be a touchdown unless Warner can catch him. He can. Warner saves the touchdown at the 25-yard line. There's a Cullen Bryant. Cullen Bryant amazingly using the speed to deny Hayes a score.
You don't expect a big fullback to be able to get over there and catch Lester Hayes, but Lester's not afraid to gamble. He did it last week, came up with a big early interception last week, and here he is again, looking from the opposite side of the field. Craig pulling the trigger, not a good throw. Largent doesn't have a chance, but watch Cullen Bryant, a big 230-pound fullback, getting all the way across the field and making the saving tackle.
We have our first timeout. Raiders in scoring position.
Chevrolet taking charge.
Taking charge with Cavalier. The hottest selling Chevrolet today. Cavalier. More horsepower than the 3 leading imports with a 2-liter electronically fuel-injected engine. Cavalier. More sedan room than Honda Accord, Nissan Sentra, or Toyota Tercel. The front drive Cavaliers. Grab one for a cool, low price.
Chevrolet
And you.
taking charge.
Today, they moved me in. Tonight, we're moving out.
Turn it loose, turn it loose, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Don't hold back. Turn it loose tonight. Let the feel when you're moving around. Coors Light is the one that won't slow you down. Coors Light, turn it loose. Don't slow down. Turn it loose.
The Pro Bowler Lester Hayes, just as he did last week, 1 interception taken away, but not that one. He returns at 44 yards. Watch 32, Cullen Bryant. This is a desirous play by the 236-pound fullback, and he almost forces the turnover back as Hayes was having trouble controlling the ball, as you can see.
Dick, that's one thing that Seattle has not done. They've only turned the ball over once in the last 3 weeks, and that in the last part of that Miami game. But Craig pulled the trigger the wrong place on that one and got the ball to the Los Angeles Raiders.
27-yard line. The give to Marcus Allen. He gains about 3. Keith Butler, one of the inside linebackers, made the hit. Defensively or offensively first, let's check it. Jim Plunkett, he says he's had one of his best years. Marcus Allen, over 1,000 yards. Kenny King, a big touchdown on a reverse last week. Cliff Branch, leading receiver in playoffs in yardage. Malcolm Barnwell, the other wide out. Todd Christensen led the league with 92 catches at tight end. We'll check the offensive line for you after this play.
You can't blame him for smiling.
He was swallowing the canary on that smile. 2nd and 7. Allen on a draw. He's got a first down. He's to the 5-yard line. Kenny Easley made the tackle. Two men who played against each other in college on this same Coliseum field. Allen at USC and Easley at UCLA.
Seattle defense has given up a lot of yardage over this season, and they've given up a lot of yardage in the playoffs. Allen taking advantage of an opening there, showing you his tremendous skill as an open field runner. The pressure squarely on the defense. They need to try and get a turnover. They've done it well in the past.
1st and goal. Allen hit in the backfield. Jacob Green, first-round pick from Texas A&M, led the Seahawks with 16 sacks this year. Bruce Davis, UCLA at left tackle. Charlie Hanna from Alabama at left guard. The center, Dave Dolby, UCLA. Right guard, Mickey Marvin from Tennessee. Henry Lawrence, Florida A&M, on his way to the Pro Bowl at right tackle.
Nice battle out there between Lawrence and Green. Jacob Green has 4.5 sacks off Lawrence this year. They're going at it tooth and nail already.
2nd and goal. Allen to the 3-yard line. Joe Nash, number 72. He's the man who chased him down from behind on that longer run. Nash, who has beaten out Tuiasa Sopo at nose tackle, made the stop. There's the defense. Green, Nash, and Jeff Bryant. The front 3. The linebackers, young and mobile. Bruce Schultz led the team in tackles. Sheldon Robinson had 2 touchdowns against the Raiders on fumbles this year. Butler and Greg Gaines has moved into the starting lineup. Kerry Justin on one corner, veteran Dave Brown at the other. Kenny Easley and John Harris are the safeties. It's 3rd and goal at the 3. Allen has carried the ball on every play for the Raiders. Plunkett. And he throws it away. Big Bruce Schultz, he's built like Ted Hendricks, had Christensen well blanketed.
Some of you at home might be wondering why they didn't call face masking, face guarding. If only one hand is up and it's not waving, they will not call you for face guarding a receiver. That ball overthrown, Schultz had done a good job of covering the receiver in the far end of the end zone. There it is right there. You see the one arm up, and he's not waving that arm, and Christensen knows he has no chance on that football. Plunkett wisely throwing it over his head.
Chris Barr enjoyed his best pro year in this his 8th season. This will be a 20-yard attempt. And the Raiders use Lester Hayes' interception to take the early lead 3-0 on the Chris Barr field goal. So timeout here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. 8:47 remaining in the first quarter.
Seven years ago, Data Point sparked a revolution. A network of energy called ARC, linking an officer's machines together, letting them communicate with one another, even over distance. The ARC local area network was born. And today, Data Point has more of them up and running than Wang, Xerox, and IBM combined. So for computers, workstations, office systems that work together, work with Data Point. We spark the revolution.
Chevy Tough is taking charge. Moisture and road salt are murder on a pickup, but Tough Chevy S10 comes with built-in corrosion-fighting zinc alloy steel, zinc pro metal, and large quantities of tough galvanized steel to help guard against rust. A whopping 277 square feet. Enough zinc-rich steel to make its own garage. For year-round protection, Chevy S10's got you covered with corrosion-fighting steel. Chevy Tough is taking charge.
Monday, it's all new bloopers and TV's greatest practical jokes as Dick Clark and Ed McMahon present all new pranks and pratfalls, all on Monday.
Head coaches get the credit, but the strategists are often in the assistant coaching corps.
Ray Prohaska, offensive coordinator, and he'll be setting up the offense on his side. On the other side, Charlie Sumner. Now, they don't have a defensive coordinator, but he's the man that calls the defenses for that Raider defense. Ball's in the air.
Chris Barr, again, kicking away from Dixon. David Hughes. 20. And is out to the 27-yard line. Hughes, powerful back. Did his playing in college at Boise State. He's a native of Honolulu. So the Seahawks dodged part of the bullet. They didn't give up the touchdown. Hayes, it looked like he might score Merlin, and then they had a chance first and goal and had to settle for 3 points, did the Raiders.
Kenny Myers, who calls a lot of the plays for this Seahawk offense, so talked about the importance of getting off fast. They need a good start in this game. They don't want to get down to these Raiders. You can't really play good catch-up football against a team with a rush and with a good man-to-man coverage system.
Larson to the right. They go with 2 tight ends, and they're both to the left. Metzler and Charlie Young. Bryant. Kurt Warner slamming behind Bryant's block out across the 30-yard line. Kinlaw first to make contact for the Raiders.
Talked to Matt Millen about Warner, and he said that one of the big problems that the Raiders had with Warner, and Warner played well against them early, was that they were not able to keep everybody, keep all the holes covered on him. He cuts back so well, has such great vision, but they have done a good job today of having a lot of bodies in those holes where Warner has wanted to run. He's not been able to break a big run yet.
That yardage, over 1,400, led the AFC. This is David Hughes. Oh, he's got strong legs and carries Alzado a couple yards with him, as well as Rod Martin, 53, Haynes, 22. It is short of the first down at the 35-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and about 2.
These are pleasant downs for an offensive coordinator, for a quarterback, because with a short yardage situation on 3rd down, the defense must respect the possibility of the run. On 3rd and 7, they can tee it up and go after the passer.
Coliseum, so much history, football, the Olympics in 32, the Olympics again in 84, jammed to capacity on a foggy Los Angeles day. It's 3rd and about 1.5. Warner close to a first down on 2nd effort. Alzado finally cut off the pursuit there and cut down the inside angle. And we'll see if it's a first down. Warner again showing you how he finds the daylight. He really runs behind the blocks without knowing exactly where he's going to go. The block's telling.
Matt talked about the kind of blocking that they use in that offense of the Seattle Seahawks. He said they're a push and position team. Now, what he's saying really is they lock up one-on-one on you, and they try to get you to commit one way or the other. And Warner is so good at seeing those holes that he cuts them into the open territory.
And a first down on the legs of Warner. They had other things to say about Kurt Warner, did these Raiders, during the course of the week.
They certainly did.
While Alzado used different terminology to describe his talent.
Tom Flory, 6-1 in the playoffs. Chuck Knox, 3 different teams to the playoff. Knox, by the way, the only one of the 3 coaches to make the finals who hasn't gone to a Super Bowl.
No gain, maybe a yard. Ted Hendricks finally made the tackle. Warner forced wide and now has only 11 yards and 5 carries.
Dick, every man on a defensive team has specific responsibility. Ted Hendricks' job is to string it out on the outside, and you saw him doing exactly that, stretching out to the outside here. Now, from the inside, you're getting pursuit from 55 Millen. And coming from the inside out now with another angle, you'll see Millen driving inside out. Hendricks stringing out the play. Hendricks actually makes this play because you can't get away from those long arms of his.
There's no angle in which to block him. Quick hitter by Warner again, and nothing much there. A couple of yards. Howie Long from Villanova. 13 sacks to lead the Raiders this year. Earned the right to go to the Pro Bowl. Made the stop.
Warner looking for some cutbacks, and the Raiders have done a good job of shutting off the backside. On the inside, 62 Kinlaw and 55 Millen. Millen locked up. There's that kind of lockup he talked about, position and push. He actually beat the block, but Warner able to dart inside. You also get a little feeling of the conservative nature of Knox. He would rather run the football. If they can establish the run, you'll see a lot of that here. That's what he's hoping to do.
But in 3rd and 7, forced into the shotgun. Craig in trouble. Greg Townsend, number 93, a rookie from TCU.
Townsend had 12 sacks on the season. That makes 13. That's a second sack of the day. You get the sense of the reason that they don't want to have to be forced to throw the football. Craig just cannot find a receiver open, and the offensive line can't stop the Raider rush. Here he comes, number 93, Townsend, coming on the outside. Right there, Pickell from the inside also getting a piece of that sack.
Jeff West, high but short. Greg Pruitt, no fair catch. Breaks a couple of tackles, and he's down at the Raider 27-yard line. So timeout with 4 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Raiders leading the Seattle Seahawks 3-0 as we reflect back on other AFC, AFL championships. How about 1968? The numbers were 12-13. Joe Namath, number 12. Don Maynard, number 13. And the Jets went on to the Super Bowl.
No two investments are alike. Some require discipline. Others require courage. Each has its place in molding your financial picture. As respected advisors to the serious investor, we at Shearson American Express recommend each investment be evaluated in terms of who you are, rather than just dollars and cents. Shearson American Express and the serious investor. Minds over money.
It is the revelation of an automobile like none before. The new Mercedes-Benz 190 class. Surprisingly trim and lean and fast, a virtue enhanced by its aerodynamic architecture. It has the quickest reflexes of any Mercedes-Benz sedan. More than just a new automobile, it is a new class of automobile. The new Mercedes-Benz 190 class.
McEnroe from Wimbledon, Connors from the U.S. Open, Noah the French Open, and two-time defending champion Yvonne Lendl. 12 of the world's top tennis players battle in one of the most prestigious events in tennis, the Volvo Masters, on NBC Sports.
Raider offense has the ball, so the defensive coaches go into the school room, go to that chalkboard.
Charlie Sumner, Willie Brown talking over philosophy, exactly how they want to work against that Seattle offense. And whatever they're doing, it's working so far.
They've held Warner to just a dozen yards. That was the key for them. They lead 3-0, 4.5 minutes remaining. First quarter here in Los Angeles. Marcus Allen with a huge hole is out to the 36-yard line. An 8-yard gallop before Greg Gaines could make the stop.
Dick, there are a lot of one-on-one wars down there on the line of scrimmage, and one of the most vital of those wars is between Henry Lawrence and Jacob Green. On this play, Lawrence faking the pass, getting Green upfield, a little draw play, does a good job. And look at that. You better believe he's feeling the pressure of his job today.
Allen picking up 8 yards, now has 30 for the first quarter. Second and 2. Batted in the air and complete. It appeared to be Joe Nash, the nose guard, who had his hand up. Might have been
Jacob Green. It was 79, and you saw Jacob beaten out on the last play. Lawrence did a great job on that play of holding him on the line. But Jacob has one other advantage. He's got long arms. Good stop on the line of scrimmage. He knows he's not going to get to the quarterback, does the next best thing. Goes up, puts that arm on the football, and negates the pass.
Great camera coverage. We're right in Green shoulder pads as he stops the Raiders on 2nd and 3. Now it's 3rd and 3. Marcus Allen to the 47 and a first down. Allen, who caught 68 passes during the course of the year to lead the American Conference running backs in pass receptions. There it is.
He caught 5 last week too, and what an all-around performer he is, and so dangerous. He's used in a variety of ways, and even when he doesn't have the ball, you have to respect his presence. So he's a good decoy as well. But he's all by himself here, finding a gap. That's Bruce Schultz, 58, cutting across. They found room underneath the linebackers.
Allen again, and he's to the 50-yard line, a gain of 3. Jeff Bryant, number 77, number 1 pick out of Clemson a couple of years ago, made the stop.
Dick, we talked about the position and push offense of the Seattle Seahawks. The running game of the Raiders predicated on physical strength. Big offensive linemen, one-on-one blocking. They don't use many combinations or traps. They come right after you, and they use their strength to drive you off the line.
Plunkett off play action. They can't get him. They're finally hit from behind, and Plunkett is tackled at the 48. Jacob Green persevering. It'll be third down and about 5.
Plunkett's a gamer. Doesn't always look the best. Sometimes looks a little awkward out there, but look at the courage he shows here. Tremendous pressure. Still has his concentration downfield. Takes a couple of shots there, tries to get around. Hanna was covered for the backside. He had to get away from him. Green knocked him down, but there's no sack on that play. Watch Green. He stays with it all the way, too. Comes all the way from the backside to finally make the tackle on Plunkett.
Plunkett doing a good job of not fumbling the football. On 3rd and 5. Number 35, Don Dufek. You talk about a story. Here's Dufek. He has been released by Seattle. He's like a bad penny. You can't get rid of him. They've released him 3 times, and they keep calling him back. He's just a kid that's tough, doesn't have the speed nor the size, but loves to play, and he's one of the top players on special teams and in that 5- and 6-back defense.
And they put him in there. They actually used him almost as a linebacker on that play. He got right up in there and did his job extremely well. Ray Guy finally gets a little opportunity here to show his stuff.
10 men on the line of scrimmage for Seattle. Paul Johns back at the 10-yard line. Beautiful spiral. Johns lets it go and into the end zone. Even if he touched it, doesn't matter. It's a muff, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. First down for the Seattle Seahawks and a timeout. 1:15 remaining in the first quarter. The Raiders lead by 3.
Move into more celebrity excitement.
Eurosport.
The new front drive Celebrity Eurosport. Special F41 sports suspension straightens out curves in a car that looks as special as it feels.
Eurosport.
Move into more celebrity. Eurosport. A touch of Europe at a Chevrolet price.
Chevrolet.
And you.
Taking charge.
East Point, Maine and Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. East Point means a New England clam bake, summer fun and food at its best. And Milwaukee means beer, cold, crisp, old Milwaukee beer, and smooth golden old Milwaukee Light.
And old Milwaukee.
And old Milwaukee Light.
Taste as great as their name.
You know, guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
A sporting event that combines the best in comedy, entertainment, politics, and professional golf. What a foursome. Join me for the 25th anniversary of the Bob Hope Desert Classic right here on NBC Sports.
Well, like coming home for this guy, Merlin Olsen, you played out there for so many years. You sensed the real emotion. The crowd, it's usually not a very noisy crowd. They call themselves sophisticated in L.A. And they're hand clappers. They're not the noisy Eastern rowdy.
No, they're not, but they're here today, and that's as rowdy a reception as I've ever seen a team get in the Coliseum here. Played here a lot of times, Dick, and never played in front of a crowd this big. And have to tell you, only 2 occasions I really felt the crowd got involved. They could do it today.
Seattle trailing 3-0, ball at the 20-yard line. Warner, and again surrounded. It's only a couple. And Kurt Warner thus far has been kept well in check. And let's go back to that premise. The Raiders say number 1 and number 2 and number 3 on their list is to stop Kurt Warner. They stop him, they feel they can win easily.
They really do have the horsepower to knock down your passing game. If Warner can run effectively, he forces them to honor the run and also makes it possible for the run passes to be effective against the Raider defense.
Number 1 pick out of Penn State has only 14 yards so far in 8 carries. Going long for Metzler's and overshoots him, or Charlie Young rather. And Young was open. Mike Davis had been beaten, but Craig's throw was a bit too long. Alzado applied pressure on the quarterback.
There's the Reverend himself down there, and there's a man who plays with his emotional heart. Young coming off the ball, working on Mike Davis, strong safety, number 36, put a good move on him. You saw him drive inside, but a lot of pressure on Craig. Had no chance to take advantage of that little edge that he had on the strong safety.
Lester Hayes interception, setting up a Chris Barr 20-yard field goal, the only points of this first quarter. Steve Largent in motion on 3rd and 8. Harold Jackson is short of the first down at the 27-yard line. Mike Haynes on the coverage, and Seattle will have to give up the ball.
Seahawks running a very complicated 3-wide receiver offense on one side. Motion by Largent, who stopped in the middle and then continued on across. But they could not fool the Raiders secondary. Raiders doing an excellent job of working one-on-one and controlling the receivers. You see them there dogging them man-to-man. Now that's what you do when you're man-to-man. You stay on top of that man. You discourage the quarterback when throwing the football to him.
And that is the end of the first quarter of this American Conference Championship game. It's 3-0. The Los Angeles Raiders leading the Seattle Seahawks. 14 years ago, it was Unitas to Perkins, 68 yards, and the Baltimore Colts had beaten the Raiders, and they went on to the Super Bowl.
The great cars of Europe priced far out of reach. Until now. Renault presents the road to affordability. Renault Alliance, acclaimed for its smooth, comfortable ride, with sedan comfort for 5 and their luggage, fuel efficient, fuel injected, European technology that's affordable. $59.59. Renault Alliance, built in America.
The one to watch, the one to watch, the one to watch.
Renault.
To get ahead in business these days, you've got to be fast. You not only have to be fast, you have to be faster than the next guy. And as fast as you are, there's always someone else who thinks he's faster than you. And the faster you go, the faster everyone else tries to get ahead of you, and the faster you have to go to keep up with the fastest. And no matter how fast you go, everyone everywhere is always trying to be faster. So you have to be really fast, tremendously fast, incredibly fast, or you fall behind someone else who is faster. Faster than Jimmy, faster than Joey, faster than Janie, and faster than John.
To get ahead in business these days, you have to go with a company who invented the whole idea of fast. Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
Hop, hoppity toe, wickety whack, flippity flop, Jiminy criminy, whoopity scoopity, zoom it, move it, rocket.
Michelob, something speak for themselves.
It goes without saying. Only the very finest ingredients can give you the smooth and mellow taste of Michelob. Michelob. Some things speak for themselves.